My name is Mui Ling. I tend to focus on miniature origami. This artwork is called More Precious Than Money. This features an origami pig representing a piggy bank. But instead of money, this piggy bank is being filled with pages of a calendar. If you look closely, the calendar is a 2019 calendar. That was the year of the pig and also the year I created this piece. The year before, in 2018, I started a new job and I had to work very hard, sometimes up to 80 hours a week. 2018 was the year of the dog, and I worked like a dog. So, into the year of the pig, I created this artwork in hope of finding a healthier work life balance and having more time for the things that I love. I never know when the next event is going to be my last, and that is why time is more precious than money.
Terry Hardy here. I am a multidisciplinary artist. This piece was created kind of out of anger and everything that was happening at the border with all the families being separated from the children a couple of years ago. Donald Trump constantly ranting and raving about they're sending people that have lots of problems. They bring in drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and it's got to stop. Meanwhile, almost daily, people were drowning trying to get to this country for a better life. This was actually in a show in Atlanta. Well, the owner of the establishment asked the curator if she could talk to me about taking it down. So this particular piece is called Oscar Alberto Martinez and 2-year-old daughter Angie Valeria drowned while trying to cross the Rio Grande.
I'm a Southern queer elder, conceptual artist. This work is a series of works, and the text is an excerpt from text which I'll read. It's a photograph of me at that age. My mother was obsessed with taking many photographs of me. I've got hundreds of photographs of me. It reads, Eddie didn't realize at the time that he'd moved to New York City minutes before the AIDS epidemic swept the city and then the world. Eddie couldn't imagine that all the newfound friends that became family would die so young. Eddie had no idea that so many creative, intelligent, brilliant men would be shamed, treated as lepers, pushed aside as though they were preordained to die this horrible death because of our sexual identity. This little boy was not prepared for the trauma of experiencing such a despicable time in history, watching the spirit of his brothers slide into the abyss, made to feel unworthy of respect, dignity, and life, everyone's birthright. So this work represents that time and also represents the tragedy that occurs while ignoring suffering and injustice. Willful ignorance continues now.
I'm Frank Palea. I've been making simulated walls for 40-something years. I took the idea of a flattering dictator's portrait, and then I kind of turned it inside out and upside down. Instead of being flattering, I made this portrait of Trump pretty unflattering. It's riddled with machine gun bullet holes across the top. I got so sick and tired of those stupid MAGA hats. So what I did was I came up with about 75 MAGA hats, but with different messages that were actually accurate to what he is always talking about. Instead of making America great again, cheat on your taxes, cheat at golf, denigrate women, cage Hispanic, on and on, these stupid claims and comments from him. This is one in a series of these dictator portraits, starting with Mao. I did Stalin and Mussolini, Putin and Xi, Erdogan, Assad, Kim Jong-un.
I'm Stuart Wilson. I would just go around with this box of letters, and occasionally something would strike me. I would usually try to put down a word that somewhat was in contra to what I was looking at. I wanted them to fight it out a little bit and have to deal with things. I think for a dog, maybe what's in the dish is kind of something that they do worship. I wanted to somehow get around that image text fitting together and having them try to come up with a new relationship that way.